G'day, how y'all doing? We're going to turn an old rough cut piece of hemlock that used to be a shelf on the wall behind me into a brand new usable entranceway shelf. Stick around. If you like what you see, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let's get to it. G'day, how y'all doing on this wet day? So I've got this chunk of rough cut hemlock, I believe it's hemlock, left over from when I redid this wall. This used to sit as a shelf across there. And I figure, let's turn it into a nicer shelf. So let's have at her. Now this piece of wood has a little bit of a dog leg in it right here, but other than that, it's pretty flat, pretty straight. And I don't own a jointer planer. Jointer planer. But I do own a planer. And let's see what we can do with it. Okay, so first of all, we need to figure out how long we're going to make it. So this is almost 5.5 feet. So we'll make this a 32-inch shelf. That'll be a nice little shelf. But we're going to get rid of this end first. Square this end off here first. Add that to my fire pile. So, take a little bit more out of the equation, and we'll square off the one edge. They're both pretty straight. Note to self, lock table in place. I'm going to make the shelf 6 inches wide. So we're going to cut it 6 3/8 and bury it into the other piece. We're going to use as much of the wood as we can, so measurements, as much as they're handy. Really don't want to waste the wood too much. See how that's going to sit something like that. Rip another piece around 7 inches. You'll notice you got some rubber roller marks on the boards. This side was getting smoother while this side was still rough, so it was catching the planer. So we're just going to run it through again on this side, and we'll get rid of those rubber roller marks. And there you go. What used to look like this, inconsistent. That's an 1.25 inches thick on that side, 1.25 inches on that side. We planed her all down. What a beautiful grain that's got. Like I say, I'm pretty sure this is rough cut hemlock. It's been in here for 3 years, so it's nice and dry. We got it down. We're just under 1 inch thick. That's going to make a nice shelf. Make a really nice shelf. So we got our shelf. And we have our backer. Sorry. We have our backer. These there you go. We'll get her straight yet. We got our shelf, we got our backboard, and these here will be our supports. So when it comes to the back, I think I want this side facing out, but we'll make this the top. So we have 7/8 of an inch thick. We'll bring this over. Why don't we bring you guys around so you can see what I'm doing? Almost lost you. Oh. I'm going to raise the saw. So it's just a little over halfway through it. Now, raise the saw to there. I made it just a little too deep, apparently. That's okay. Trial and error works. And we're going to take a saw blade off. That's perfect. That is perfect right there. So we're 5 7/8 here, 3 7/8 up here. But we're going to round this a little bit, which is going to alter that. And then we're going to swoop down and put a nice decorative round on the back of this thing. Okay, so now we got our piece here. We've already got our dado cut out to accept the shelf. So we're going to use the back side because, well, why mar that up? Use the back side. Find center. We know this is 32 inches, so when I went to school, half of 32 was 16. We're going to go down. Let's go 1.75 inches. Put a nice fade line across there. 1.75 inches down. and bring out all the tricks of the trade. Nice little paint can or stain can here. Make sure you don't use a dented area. That rounds over that corner nicely. There you go. For the top, I've got an amazing sister-in-law, and she bakes us cookies every Christmas and treats and all that, and we get steel trays. Thank you, Jen. This is coming in handy. Go to your center. Just round that up like that. Either side. Go down to where you touch your, just above your 1 3/4 inch line. Allow for the thickness of your lead. Bring that around like that. Do the same thing on this side. My belly's getting in the way, I understand this. Laugh now if you'd like. Like that. For the end of it, you want to come up just below your mark here. Round that over like that. And we're going to lose this round here. That's okay. Hindsight's 20/20. That gives us a nice swoop around. It's going to give us a nice decorative profile on the back of our shelf. Same thing. Like that. Four and an eighth. 4 1/8. Look at that, it's the same. Now, I don't have a bandsaw because I am the average Joe woodworker, but I am getting one. So we're going to break out our trusty jigsaw. You just want to take it slow, no need to race it. Follow your line. I could have cut through that a whole lot faster, but could you imagine how rough that cut would be? That's a nice smooth cut going through there. Let's do the other side. Okay, so now we're going to break out our handy sander. Got some 80 grit on here. There we go. Nice 80 grit. Got a nice profile there for the shelf. Now we take our base. What do you think? That's approximately what it's going to look like when it's done. So this goes 3 3/4. Boom. And we're going to want this side here. That slight little bevel we got the round down here. Just makes for less sanding. There. I don't recommend you doing this per se, but much better. This one goes here. That's what we wanted to see. So I got to ask you, did anybody else catch the big mistake I made when I put this together? The two side rails, I had them on the wrong side. So I took them apart and put it back together, and while doing that, I also put that on off camera. Take some, you take a nice sharp putty knife. I'm going to clean some of this up. Not putty knife, chisel, sorry. Just clean up some of the gelatin glue. That way you're not rubbing the glue into the fibers and getting a bad finish. Okay, so that's all sanded down with 80 grit right now, and it's looking really nice, I think. We're going to finish it down to about 150. Get a nice smooth finish on it. But we have these screw holes here that are hidden. You're not going to see them, but let's get rid of them. You don't need to mix sawdust up with glue or anything like that. You can use simple wood filler. There we go. So while that is drying, next thing we need to figure out is how we're going to mount this thing. We can do a French cleat, basically what this wall is. Well, basically it is what this wall is. You can do a French cleat where you mount that to the back and you build one for underneath that holds it up. Drill a hole, put a couple screws in there. For the amount of weight it's going to carry, it's more than enough. A couple anchors. If you put them at 16 inches apart, you're on stud centers. However, you don't know where the stud is in the wall if you're going to center it. What I like to do is build my own L brackets. We're going to use the leftover wood that we have here. We're going to set our saw at 1.25 inches light, like that. Raise it up. Perfect. Just to give it a nice little, hey, how are you? That. There you go. Your own brackets. There we go. This way, get a screwdriver in there, put it on. Lines up with the hole, you get a screwdriver in there, firm. There we go. Make that hole nice and smooth. So I don't know how much of that you guys got, but it's all smoothed out now, 180 grit. We got our brackets that we made. We're going to measure in 5 inches. 5 inches. Take your square. And we want to just bury that pencil mark so you don't see it. Do that. You're right at the center with it. That way you won't get a huge amount of squeeze out that you have to clean up later. Okie dokie. So we got the clamps off her. Holds up there nice. So me, I'm partial to the natural wood look, but you can stain this any color you want. They even have spray on stain now. So if you don't want to use a brush or a rag, you can actually go buy some spray on stain. We're going to put a finish on this. Before that, we take a tack cloth to it just to make sure that we got all the little pieces of sawdust and everything that could cause the finish to okay, so I already pre-drilled some holes for these. This is Chris from Chaos Woodworking. You can barely see it. Fucker. And there you have it. We turned that old piece of wood that used to be a shelf that went across there and gave it new life and turned it into a nice entranceway shelf, equipped with hangers for your keys, your jacket if you like, gloves, and we made our own L brackets for the wall. The measurements I used are just arbitrary measurements. You can make this whatever size you want. I think that turned out great. Till next time, this is Chris from Chaos Woodworking. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below. It really does help the channel out. Until next time, cheers. Get in your shop, be creative. The only thing holding you back is you.